This is episode 7 of the Expert's Guide to Empires and Puzzles, and I'm going to talk about Titan parts today. This is one of the newer features in the game, so I'm going to open up my inventory to show you that we have new crafting materials that drop with Titans, such as the Titan heart. We have a skull here, there's a Titan spine, a tail, an egg, an eye, and a plume, and a beak, and you can see that these are all differing rarities too. We got a Titan fang down there and a shell. So we've got 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star, and these are going to be used to make new battle items. So today I'm going to discuss more about the Hunter's Lodge, which I talked about previously in my advanced buildings video. I'm going to talk about how to use harpoons, what you do with these Titan parts once you get them, and about crafting the new battle items. So first of all, if you haven't watched my advanced buildings video, go ahead and watch that. But let's talk about it in more detail today too, because you need to convert a building into a Hunter's Lodge before you can do any of this. And I recommend converting a forge into the Hunter's Lodge because they're very, very similar. Buildings and Empires and Puzzles gives you way too many forges, so you don't need those. Every other building is really important to you, so I don't see why you would convert any other building than a forge into the Hunter's Lodge. But once you convert that, then you have the ability to craft harpoons, giant harpoons, and these can be used on the map if you want to, but really these should be reserved entirely for fighting Titans. And to craft them, you only need some basic items there, but it does take a lot of iron, and it does take a good amount of food as well. But once you have them, your Titans are going to start dropping Titan parts. So when you fight a Titan, there's 3 different levels that you can try to reach as an alliance to get the Titan parts. At first, there's 17. That's the first level, and then it's going to drop some parts for you. And then if you get to 44 harpoons as an alliance, it's going to drop even more for you. And then when you get to 125, it's going to drop even more for you. So this is something for you and your alliance to try and achieve together. I believe that the best for right now, as we're trying to upgrade all of these buildings, and that's taking a lot of food and iron, is just to get to 44. Just, about 5 harpoons per person per Titan is plenty enough to get up to 44 on this if you have a full alliance. So I think that's going to be the most efficient way to do it, because going from 44 to 125 takes a whole lot more harpoons and resources for really not much more to gain. Now that may change whenever you get all of your farms and mines and storage and everything all upgraded and you have nothing better to do with your iron and food. But for right now, this is, 44 is probably good in my opinion. The other thing is, when you use these harpoons on the Titan, and I'm going to show you an example of this at the end, what it does is, if I could click on the right thing, what it does is deal 750 damage, which doesn't matter all that much, but it's kind of cool. But the Titan gets negative 20% attack for 6 turns, which is huge. That really helps to keep your team alive. And if the enemy is a stunned Titan, so if you've already stunned it and then you use your harpoon, then it gets negative 25% attack and negative 30% defense for 6 turns. So if you have Titan teams that don't have a defense debuffer, this is your defense debuffer. And it's really good. This can lead to some pretty big hits. Alright, so back to the Hunter's Lodge. I've shown you my inventory and what Titan parts there are. When I go to look in the Hunter's Lodge after the giant harpoon, I haven't researched these yet, but this is showing a Titan banner, a titanium shield, and a time freeze. Just like your forge, you have to unlock each of these by researching them. So you're going to put some resources into researching them, and then you have to put Titan parts and more resources into actually building these battle items. And these are going to be really useful down the road, I think. As you can see, I haven't done anything with this yet because I am not finding a use for these quite yet. Because, in my opinion, if you have an alliance full of people who are hitting the Titan regularly and ours always die by 12 on the timer, then you don't really need to be building these really expensive battle items expensive, meaning using a lot of iron and food and things like that. You don't really need to be doing that to take down Titans you're already taking down pretty easily anyway. So I think that it's going to be important to save all the Titan parts and these battle items for higher ranked Titans. So about a year ago, and this is summer 2019, but in about, I think it was the summer of 2018, they introduced 13 and 14 star Titans, and they were just really hard to take down. There was no hero in the game without emblems, without anything else. Nobody could take down the 13 or 14 star Titans, and so it was just kind of ridiculous. They would one-shot your heroes immediately, your fully maxed 5-star heroes. But I have a feeling they just stashed them away, and we're going to get 13 and 14 star Titans back, and that's when these battle items are going to become really, really useful. So whenever you harpoon these Titans and they die, the Titan parts are going to get mixed in. You can build the battle items and save them for the future, or just wait to research them and do them in the future. Now, even though I haven't really advanced my Hunter's Lodge for you to see these, I do want you to have a sneak peek of what is to come, so I'm going to show them to you here. As you can see, the giant harpoon is the one that doesn't take anything special to build. That is absolutely the most important battle item here, because it's going to lead you to be able to get all the other battle items. Then we also have a Titan banner. The Titan banner gives all heroes plus 50% attack and plus 50% defense for 3 turns. That's a lot like the dragon banner. Then we have a titanium shield. The target and nearby heroes reflect status effects and 100% of the damage back to the attacker for 4 turns. So it's kind of like you're giving your own team like Boral or Elena or Cyprian's effect. We have Panacea. Panacea is all heroes regain 500 hit points, are cured of status ailments, and gain plus 30% attack and plus 30% defense for 3 turns. So this is kind of like those little green vials that cure your status effects. So it's a cleansing effect, which is really, really nice. We have the invisibility potion. The target is invisible to the enemy for 3 turns. Valkyrie's Bane. The target gets negative 35% defense and a further 5% decrease every turn over 5 turns. The Hunter's Caltrops. This is an interesting one because the target gets 750 damage, but that's not the important part. The Hunter's Caltrops dispels buffs from the target. This isn't super useful on regular Titans, but some of those rare Titans have effects that boost themselves, and this is going to be really important to help get rid of that effect, especially like that tiger that has the reflect. That's hard to get rid of unless you bring a hero along that can do it, and it happens to be charged at the time you need it to be charged. Then we have a Hurricane. The Hurricane, the ability on that is that the target and nearby heroes get 100% mana, and the board is reshuffled, so that's a lot like the Tornado. Then we have the Scroll of Alteration. 5 random shields are transformed to match the target's element. And lastly, Time Freeze. All enemies lose 100% mana and have their normal attack delayed, and they can't gain life, or they can't gain mana for 3 turns. So that's a lot like the time stop right now. So you can see already that some of these items already match items that exist, but they're all a little bit better. So that's kind of nice. Now, I do want to give credit. This is the website, fandom.com. I'm going to put a link in the video so you can come here and check this out and look at these in more detail. You can see on the right-hand side, it's telling you what Titan parts you need in order to be able to build these things. And as you can already see, it takes a lot of food and iron to construct these as well. So it's going to be a resource sucker, and these are really only after you get some of your other advanced buildings built up quite a bit, and you have the ability to do this. And I think that if you're taking down Titans pretty easily, then you just don't need to focus on this right now. But there will be a time for this, and it's coming. All right, I think now what I want to do is give you an example of how to hit the Titan with the harpoons. I have another video where you can actually see a Titan dropping Titan parts for me. That's not going to happen here. I can link a video, or I can link that video to you as well if you want to see that happening. And I don't have any of the special battle items yet, so I'm going to do something I never ever do, and I really don't recommend this, but I figured it'd be neat for the video, and that's that I'm going to go into the shop and show you that they have some of these new battle items. So we've got a titanium shield here. I'm going to spend gems on this. This is going to be very painful. I don't like doing this, and I would not recommend this, but you can because I want to see how these work. These are the first new battle items I've ever used. Okay, so let's go to our Titan and set this up. And let's make sure we know what it does. The target nearby heroes reflects status effects and 100% of the damage back to the attacker for 4 turns. So I think that's something I want to use when it gets close to firing. We'll try it. Okay. Here goes. Oh, I missed it. I should have just done that. Okay, so as I was fighting that Titan, I didn't notice how high the Titan's mana was, and didn't use the shield at the right time. So I'm going to try to do it better this time. Since it's a new battle item, I kind of wasn't used to it, and then it put me at a little bit of a disadvantage, lowering my attack as well. I'm not talking a lot while I'm hitting the Titan because Small Giant Games didn't build a way for me to turn down the sound in the game, so it's kind of loud, and you wouldn't be able to hear me. Now, if you want to petition Small Giant Games to add a volume feature, there is a post on the forum. Go there and vote for that, and that way you can hear me talk and hear some background sound as well. But anyway, that was a side note. Let's go ahead and hit this again. Just to note, what you saw me do at the beginning of that was I hit the Titan with a harpoon just to lower its attack at first. It wasn't stunned, and I get that. I waited for a moment for it to be stunned, and then I hit it with a harpoon again to lower its defense. So you might notice me just do one hit with the harpoon right away, just to kind of like protect my heroes. Okay, not my best Titan hits. They kind of trailed off a little bit. We got to see one of these new items in action. I didn't think this particular battle item was going to be super awesome, but I figured we could play around with it and see. What happened there was it worked for like some of my heroes, but not all of my heroes, and that confused me for a moment. But then it said the target nearby heroes reflects status effects, which I don't remember targeting one, so it must have just picked a random one whenever we did that. But anyway, that was okay. I'm more excited about some of the other battle items that there are. So to end this video, I'm going to give you my top 5 battle items that I think we want to focus on as we start to level up here and have the ability to build them. So number 5 on the list is the Hunter's Caltrops right here. And the reason that this is on my list as number 5 is because I think that being able to dispel buffs from the target is going to be really important whenever you're fighting rare Titans, especially that Tiger that reflects damage. And really, it's only the rare Titans that you have to worry about that with, so that's why it's number 5 and not a little higher, because you don't need them. It's not a very flexible battle item. It's something that you just use as a specialty. So number 4 on the list is this Valkyrie's Bane. And the reason that Valkyrie's Bane is on this list is because it is another way to debuff the defense of the target, the Titan, and so if you don't have a defense debuffing hero, you can certainly use this. But you've also got the Harpoon, so this isn't higher on the list because there's actually a couple of redundant battle items here. Number 3, I think, is going to be the Panacea. So this can replace those little green antidotes if you have the luxury of having these for quite a few, because not only does this cleanse you like those antidotes, but it gives you an attack and defense buff. And I think that that's really important for getting a high score and being able to stay alive. Number 2 on the list, just like the time stop, is going to be the time freeze. So all enemies lose 100% mana and have their normal attack delayed and can't gain mana for 3 turns. Just super important for letting you be able to freeze the Titan and take some time to build a better board. When you're not using time stops or time freezes like this, then you're really just you're not doing anything smart with the board. You're just trying to stun the Titan, and sometimes that leads to not optimal attacks. But a time freeze will lead you to be able to set up the board and just kind of reset the Titan's mana, which is really nice. And lastly, number 1, just like the tornadoes, the hurricane, the target and nearby heroes get 100% mana, and the board is reshuffled. So goodness, fire up 3 of your heroes immediately and reshuffle the board. That is probably just the best battle item effect in the game. I'm really excited for the hurricane. I can't wait to get a couple of those and start using them. All right. So that's my video about Titan parts. I hope you enjoyed it. If you have any questions, leave them in the comments, and me or other people will jump on to answer those for you. Thanks for watching.